At 14:10 on October 26, 2025, the Caribbean Sea was unusually quiet, its turquoise waters glimmering under the afternoon sun. But beneath that calm surface, tension was about to erupt in a clash that would test the boundaries of modern naval warfare. From Venezuela's La Orquilla Air Base, two Su-30 fighter jets roared to life, their twin AL-31FP engines producing a deafening symphony of raw power. Each jet carried two KH-31 supersonic anti-ship missiles, a weapon designed to pierce even the most advanced naval defenses at speeds exceeding Mach 3.5. Their target? The USS Thomas Hudner, an Arleigh Burke-class destroyer, a floating fortress worth $2 billion. On deck, it gleamed with high-tech weaponry, sensors, and electronic systems, most notably the Aegis Combat System, widely regarded as the most sophisticated naval defense network in the world. But what the Venezuelan pilots couldn't know was that their entire approach had already been anticipated from hundreds of kilometers above. A KH-11 reconnaissance satellite, orbiting silently 350 kilometers above Earth, had captured every pre-flight movement at La Orquilla. Its powerful sensors had tracked the jet's armaments, fuel load, and takeoff sequence. In real time, it sent images and telemetry data back to the US Navy, now giving the Hudner a full preview of the threat before a single wheel left the tarmac. What appeared to Venezuela as a bold strike was, in reality, a meticulously observed and prepared scenario, where every move had been calculated in advance. Meanwhile, 500 kilometers away, an E-2D Hawkeye, America's eye in the sky, patrolled tirelessly. Its massive radar dish spun overhead, scanning the horizon and transmitting constant updates. When the Su-30 ISS began their takeoff, the Hawkeye already had their flight path plotted, altitude confirmed, and weapons identified. The attack that Venezuela hoped would shock and intimidate a superpower was instead unfolding into a carefully orchestrated trap. Inside the Hudner's Combat Information Center, the crew moved with the calm precision of decades of training. Rows of monitors displayed a digital map of the surrounding seas and airspace. The AN/SPY-1 radar dome extended an invisible bubble around the ship, constantly scanning for threats. Two red blips appeared on the screen, low-flying and armed. The SLQ-32 electronic warfare system immediately began analyzing the incoming signals, preparing to interfere with the missile guidance. The tension in the room was almost imperceptible, but the air felt charged with anticipation. And then it began. The lead Su-30 tore through the sky, a predator streaking across a steel-blue horizon, and the first KH-31 missile tore away from its launcher, a jagged comet of destruction accelerating toward the Hudner at an almost unimaginable Mach 3.5. On the bridge, alarms screamed like banshees. Lights flashed violently across panels. The crew barely had time to blink before the missile's seeker locked onto the ship. Heartbeats raced, sweat beaded, and in those fleeting seconds, the Aegis system sprang to life, not as cold machinery, but as a guardian of algorithms and cunning deception. The SLQ-32 hummed with electric precision, manipulating radar signals like a puppeteer, bending the missile's perception until the warhead couldn't distinguish reality from illusion. Then, as if the ship itself were fighting back with fire, the Mark 36 SRBOC decoy system erupted, spitting a storm of blazing flares into the night sky. Shadows danced on the deck as the first KH-31, deceived and confused, twisted sharply away, chasing a phantom and detonating harmlessly into the rolling sea a full kilometer from its target. But the danger had only just begun. The second missile bore down relentlessly, faster now, less fooled, a steel predator with a single-minded intent to destroy. Every second felt like an eternity. Less than 25 seconds remained before impact. The Hudner's crew, calm but deadly precise, launched their counterstrike. The SM-6 soared from the Mk-41 vertical launcher, a streak of controlled fury, climbing to heights over 30 kilometers before diving at supersonic speed. In a brutal mid-air collision, the SM-6 met the KH-31 head-on. The sky ignited in a fireball of shrapnel and heat. $4 million of guided technology had just saved a $2 billion fortress, and more importantly, the lives of 300 sailors trembling below, hearts still racing from the brush with annihilation. Venezuela, however, was far from defeated. So as the smoke from the first SM-6 detonation curled into the sky and alarms blared across the Hudner's bridge, the remaining Su-30s surged forward with relentless determination. 2 KH-31 missiles tore free, slicing through the turbulent air like steel-hungry predators, their surfaces glinting in the sunlight as they accelerated under the cloak of electronic jamming. The Hudner sensors tracked them instantly, but the pilots of the Su-30s relied on the chaos, hoping the lingering interference and smoke would create just the slightest window to strike. At 15 kilometers, the missiles entered the Hudner's deadly medium-range engagement zone, the domain of the ESSM system. Suddenly, the ship transformed from a target into a predator. Each vertical launch cell ignited, spitting 4 missiles skyward in a synchronized eruption of fire and smoke. These were not ordinary interceptors. Each ESSM was a lightning-fast, supersonic hunter, capable of twisting mid-air in milliseconds thanks to thrust vectoring, anticipating the KH-31's evasive maneuvers with deadly precision. Time slowed in the minds of the crew. The first KH-31 was caught in a web of converging missiles. Its nose twisted violently as the ESSMs closed in, finally detonating in a blinding explosion that lit up the surrounding sea like a fiery bloom, fragments raining down harmlessly around the Hudner. The second missile, however, fought on, its electronics rattled by electronic countermeasures. Its seeker flickered and failed, guidance systems scrambled, and the once lethal weapon became a high-speed metal projectile, moving fast, but now entirely predictable, doomed to fall short of its mark. For a moment, silence reigned. The Hudner glided on, unscathed, a $2 billion fortress alive with technology, skill, and the sheer will of its crew. Proof that in this deadly ballet of modern warfare, precision, deception, and timing could turn the tide against even the fastest, deadliest missiles. The final 5 kilometers represented the ultimate test, the Hudner's last line of defense, the Phalanx close-in weapon system. Its 6-barrel M61 Vulcan Gatling gun spun to life at 4,500 rounds per minute, firing solid tungsten rounds that tore the remaining missile into harmless fragments. In less than 90 seconds, the 4 KH-31 missiles, the pride of the Venezuelan Air Force, were neutralized. The Su-30s, their mission failed, turned back toward base, leaving behind a trail of spent flares, missile smoke, and shattered ambition. This encounter wasn't just about survival. It was a masterclass in layered naval defense. From satellite reconnaissance to airborne early warning, electronic warfare, long-range interception, medium-range missiles, and finally, close-in defense, every element worked seamlessly. For the Hudner crew, and this was a routine demonstration of training and technology. For Venezuela, it was a costly miscalculation, with lessons learned the hard way. But the story also highlights the changing nature of modern warfare. Information dominance now trumps brute force. Satellites, radar, and electronic systems allow defenders to predict and manipulate the battlefield with precision. Even the most audacious attacks can be rendered harmless if intelligence, preparation, and coordination are in place. Some beyond the technical mastery, the psychological stakes were immense. Venezuelan pilots, expecting surprise and dominance, faced a reality where every move had been anticipated and countered. On board the Hudner, tension was tempered by professional calm. Each sailor understood the role they played in a chain of defense that spanned from orbiting satellites to the ship's guns. Every sensor, every system, and every operator was a part of an invisible but unbreakable shield. The broader lesson extends beyond the Caribbean. The encounter demonstrates the cost of misjudging an opponent in international waters. A modern warship is more than steel and missiles. It's a living network of human expertise, technological integration, and constant readiness. Even the most sophisticated and daring attack can be defeated without firing a single round if intelligence, training, and technology are perfectly aligned. Reflecting on the Hudner's defense, it's clear that naval warfare has evolved. The battle isn't just fought with firepower, but with foresight, deception, and layered systems. Satellites observe, drones patrol, radar sweeps, and electronic warfare misdirect. Missiles intercept, and when all else fails, close-in weapons protect the final perimeter. The Venezuelan attack was a high-stakes test of this system, and it failed. By the end of the encounter, calm returned to the sea. The Hudner continued its patrol, waves lapping against its reinforced hull. The Su-30s retreated, their provocation neutralized. For those aboard, it was another day of duty carried out with cold precision. For the world, it was a vivid demonstration of how technology, layered defenses, and human skill converged to dominate the battlefield. In the aftermath, Venezuela had learned a painful lesson. Audacity alone cannot overcome preparation. The Hudner's crew had demonstrated that superior training and technology create a defense that is nearly impossible to breach. From orbital satellites to deck-level gunfire, the chain of protection worked flawlessly. The message was clear. Challenging the U.S. Navy in international waters is a calculated risk that may cost more than anyone anticipates. Modern warfare, as this encounter shows, is about more than missiles and jets. It's about anticipation, intelligence, layered defense, and split-second decisions. Every element, from the reconnaissance satellite in orbit to the phalanx CIWS on deck, contributes to a system that can withstand even the most daring attacks. This engagement in the Caribbean Sea proves that a $2 billion warship, when defended by a well-trained crew and state-of-the-art technology, is virtually untouchable. The USS Thomas Hudner's flawless defense is not just a story of survival, it's a study in modern military dominance. Each layer of defense, from the electronic warfare systems to the SM-6 and ESSMs, acted as a symphony of precision. The crew performed with professionalism honed over thousands of hours of simulations and exercises. Venezuela tested the ship and found, ultimately, that superior strategy and technology outweigh bold aggression. The calm returned to the Caribbean, but the lesson remains. In contemporary naval conflicts, knowledge, preparation, and integrated defense systems are the decisive factors. While jets and missiles are dramatic, the true victory belongs to the seamless integration of human skill and cutting-edge technology. In those tense 20 minutes, the USS Thomas Hudner didn't just defend itself. It sent a warning, written in smoke, code, and precision, to anyone considering a challenge on the high seas. If this detailed exploration of the Caribbean standoff gave you insight into the mechanics of modern naval defense, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more breakdowns of high-stakes military encounters around the globe.